An interesting study at a private hospital showed that absenteeism among nurses was averaging between 4 and 5%. Projecting this over the course of a year for this workforce of 92 nurses shows that the hospital was paying for over 1,000 days of absenteeism per year. Although management at the hospital understood that not all absenteeism is avoidable, they hoped to reduce absenteeism to some extent. After all, even a 1% reduction in absenteeism for 92 nurses is almost the equivalent of having one more nurse at work at all times. In an attempt to reduce absenteeism, the hospital implemented an organizational behavior modification program, which applies basic learning theory principles. 46 of the nurses were told that anyone who had a perfect attendance record for a 3-week period would be eligible for a lottery drawing. The lottery offered cash prizes equal to about a half day's pay. Enough prizes were offered so that there was about a 5% chance of winning. The graph on your screen shows what happened to absenteeism at the hospital after the lottery system was introduced to reward good attendance. Notice that absenteeism dropped from an average of just under 5% to an average of just over 3.5%. While this may not sound like a huge improvement, consider that this would mean a savings of over $50,000 a year for a group of about 100 nurses. It also means better predictability of how many nurses will show up for work on a given day. A similar program that required good but not perfect attendance to qualify for a lottery prize was also tried by the hospital with another group of nurses. Let's take a look at the impact of this program on attendance. As you can see, this program had a similar effect. For this group of 46 nurses, absenteeism decreased from just over 4% to just over 2.5%. After experimenting with lotteries to encourage good attendance, the hospital discontinued them. Look at the graph to see how the nurses reacted when the lotteries were discontinued. It is important to note that when the lottery programs were discontinued, absenteeism rose, not just to prior levels, but even higher. It's not unusual to see an effect of this kind under these circumstances. Such an effect might be due to people coming to expect a reward for the desired behavior. Some would argue that the effect might be due to people feeling that they had been manipulated. So, you tricked me into good attendance, and now you're ignoring me. Whatever the explanation, the lesson is the same. Continued positive effects will require continued attention.